Every good thing I have comes from God. Every good thing I have comes from God. That's the first step in developing a heart of gratitude. You got to learn to say to yourself over and over, every good thing I have comes from God. And why would we say that? Because we tend to think that every good thing I have came from me. My effort, my work, my labors, my smarts, my family, my money, my legacy, whatever. No, every good thing that I have comes from God. That is the opening step, the first brick on the path to gratitude. James 1:7, the brother of Christ. James says this in James 1:17, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights. Every good gift comes from God. I was visiting a church member in our hospital as an elderly gentleman. He has a terminal illness, and I walked in the hospital room, and it was maybe as bad as I thought. And there was wires everywhere, and cables everywhere, and tubes everywhere, and electronics everywhere, and it just didn't look good. And I walked in, and you don't know really what to say. How are you doing? And I said, how are you doing? And he said, Pastor, I am doing great. And I thought, you're not doing great, buddy. And I said, no. So I kind of called him on it. I said, how can you say you're doing great? How can you say you're doing great? And he said, you know why? Because I have cheated death for another day. And that's who I want to be in my life. That's who I want to be. That's what I want to live like, this guy right there. I've cheated death for another day. That's a guy that recognizes that every good gift, including your breath, comes from God. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is promised. Every good thing that we have comes from God. And we tend to say, no, I've worked for this. I've earned this. And look, that may be partially true. You may be working your socks off to get what you got. But let me assure you, you're just being a good steward of gifts that were given to you by God. Your intelligence, the time in this world that you were born, the country in which you were born, the educational opportunities that you've had. Everything that is good comes from God. It is God who is always the author of the goodness in our lives.